Lake Fork rundown and taking a break.
Growing up on the water with fishing in their blood, Matt Arey and Bryan Thrift have spent the last 10 years competing against the biggest names in professional bass fishing. Their success has landed them ranked among the top anglers in the world. If you're looking to become a better angler, then this show has all the answers. Join us and follow along to get actionable tips, tactics, and tried and true techniques directly from the pros. Welcome to Let's Talk Fish.
We're live.
We're live. A few minutes behind. We actually, normally I would never blame anything on Jeff, but we're sitting here getting ready to go live.
We're actually on Instagram Live, not paying attention to anything.
Right. And yeah, we were goofing off.
We don't even have the video set up.
So, yeah, we have no video. Brian looks up there, and our stand that's got the iPad that runs the video is not there. The stand's there, but there's no iPad there.
Hey.
And
we got it, though.
Actually, Brian and I didn't even figure it out. Jeff's like, "Oh, we don't have a camera," so y'all would have heard us fine. You just wouldn't have seen us.
Yeah, wouldn't have missed a whole lot.
Not the same without being able to see Thrift's pretty face over here when he's talking.
Exactly. Look at this smile.
So we got a little bit to talk about tonight. But let me clear something up. So I already saw Derek Westfall and a couple other people on here say taking a break? Question mark. We are not. That was bad choice of words in the title of the show.
Not a show break.
That was a great choice of words.
Well, we're not taking a break from the show, y'all.
We're now officially into the fishing off season.
Correct.
That's what I meant.
Meaning we are taking a break from tournament season, which is officially over. As Brian said, we're not taking a break from the show. There'll actually probably be more shows now that we are both home. So that being said,
just maybe a lot of deer hunting talking if Matt gets his way.
Next week's show.
Now Brian texts me just as much now as he does during fishing season, probably more, and the bulk of his texts have something to do with deer hunting.
I've started getting back into it a little bit.
Well, it's deer season.
Next week's show could be about deer hunting if we pull off this weekend what we just got through talking about.
That's true.
That could create a few stories. Potentially.
There's like 16 of us that are going to surround this monster buck on a 75-acre farm, and we're going to fill every single stand on the property in order to kill him. And if we succeed, we could have a good story behind that.
Yes.
We're not actually going to do a deer drive.
No, it's all be still hunting.
It'll all be still hunting, and we'll all have bows and arrows minus Thrift.
I'll have a crossbow, which counts as a bow and arrow.
And it is muzzleloader season here too. You could bring a black powder rifle.
I don't have one. I just crossbow hunt.
Yeah, I'd rather shoot one with a crossbow.
I had to.
Me personally, I'd still rather shoot one with even a crossbow than I would a muzzleloader. I've never had good when I used to muzzleload hunt. And I'm not getting off on a deer hunting tangent, but I never had good luck with good blood trails and I don't like it because when it just fills the air with smoke, and you can't see your deer after the shot. And
okay,
it's just
that's enough deer hunting.
All right, time for a deer hunt. Actually, Daniel Jones said time for a deer hunting show. So
yeah, we're done talking deer hunting.
We will. We got a couple. We got to talk a couple little things about deer hunting. Well, let's talk about Lake Fork first.
Good.
Let's talk about Lake Fork first. Yeah, I got
it's about 3,000 words in 2 seconds.
Got a lot of things. I mean, sometimes I'm just. My brain works faster than my mouth does.
I don't even know what we're getting ready to talk about.
Oh, Lordy.
All right, Lake Fork recap. I won't talk too terribly long about Fork, except that Patrick Walters put on a heck of a show down there. He absolutely dominated the field. It's not a secret. His forward-facing sonar was a huge player for him, the key player really for him. And, that margin of victory that he had down there, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like 29 pounds or 28 pounds. It was pushing 30 pounds. It is by far the largest margin of victory ever in the history of the Bassmaster Elite Series. And I'm not going to venture to say it'll never be broken because records are made to be broken, but that's going to be a tough one because before that it was like 12 or 13 pounds.
Yeah, which is a substantial amount.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about and the thing about it is the skill level of all the guys at the top level of fishing is fairly equal across the board. So that's what keeps those margins so tight and so small. I mean, I've seen top 10 separated by 2 pounds before, and then I've seen top 10 separated
by 40 pounds.
40 pounds. But first, second, and third is usually pretty tight.
Right. There's usually more than one in contention.
Thank you, Josh. He said 29-10 was his margin of victory. And congrats again to Patrick.
Yeah, that's nasty. I mean, that's always say. That's just nasty.
Yeah, nasty. I shot him. I thought it was pretty nasty. I thought it was downright mean.
No, it wasn't mean. He's nasty.
It's nasty.
Nasty, though.
Nasty. But I did shoot him a text the other day and told him congrats. But congrats again to Patrick Walters on a heck of a victory. Picked up a cool $125,000 and added another classic qualification spot because the winner of the Toyota Texas
So
Pass-
he got LaHue in. Didn't LaHue get the last spot?
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, look.
Ronnie Moore's on here. Thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Thanks for jumping
If
in.
LaHue's watching, or if anybody of y'all know LaHue, y'all need to tell him he probably needs to send old Patrick a gift basket or something this week. I mean, that's the right thing
my
to
hat's
do.
off to LaHue because Shane, anybody that follows the Elite Series, and Shane LaHue, he's been on the show. He's an unbelievable fisherman, super talented angler, won a ton of stuff around here, done very well at the national level. And Shane he had a run of a couple bad events, which is easy to do in the fall. It was really tough fishing. And
But he saved his rear end.
that's what I was getting at. So you talk about the mental side of fishing, and this could have actually been a topic of the whole show tonight. But I want to touch on this, and I'm glad you brought it up because Shane had one of those nightmarish days the first day at Lake
Yeah.
Fork. I mean, he zeroed, which put him. If you don't catch a fish in elite competition, you don't get a participation point. Okay, until you boat a keeper. So Shane's going in the second day of the Toyota Texas Bass Classic with a 0 on the board. So 0 points. So he's fallen way out of the Classic.
Right.
Okay, way out of the Classic. He has to catch them. And not only does he have to catch them, but he has to catch them good. So good down there was 20-something pounds, but a good solid bag was 14, 15 pounds. That was pretty solid. That was going to put you in the top 30. If you did that 2 days in a row, it's going to put you in the cut, no problem. And it was going to give you a good finish. Shane went out the second day with a 0 on the board, and he caught
I think
16
something. Yeah.
And that
Good
single
comeback.
day bag changed his entire tournament and put him in the Classic. Now, Patrick Walters winning the tournament put the Classic qualification line down to 42nd place, if I'm not mistaken. I know Ronnie Moore's on here, and he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But and Ronnie is the king of Bass Elite knowledge.
See, I
There's-
had 2 double qualifiers. I know Hank put an extra spot on there.
Patrick,
put an extra spot on there.
and then so it's 39, 40, 41. Patrick triple qualified.
Okay.
So that put the
2
third
spots.
spot.
Sweet.
So it's 3 spots. So Patrick won an open. Okay.
Yeah.
He also qualified in the top 39,
Right.
and he won the TTBC, which is a separate spot in the Classic.
Right.
So that's 3 places.
So they use his open qualification, and then the other 2 come from the elite.
Correct.
Gotcha,
Because
gotcha.
to get the exact right amount of people in the Classic, you have
Yeah.
to fill all those places that are reserved.
Right.
That being said, Shane slid in there and worked his butt off for it, frankly, and very proud of Shane, and want to give a shout out to him too. That's a lot of
He
pressure.
is a heck of a fisherman.
He is.
He's going to break out strong next year. I got a feeling.
So let's jump right into Lake Fork. I had a tough event. If anybody followed along, I ended up 61st in the tournament. Didn't have a lot to lose going into the event. I was already qualified for the Classic, and that's the goal each and every year. But at the same time, there's a lot of money down there at that tournament to be made, and I lift a lot out there. I never could. I am a pattern fisherman. I like to fish patterns. I like to get with something that I can duplicate throughout the lake. And yes, Patrick was on somewhat of a pattern, but the forward-facing sonar and the combination of what he was doing, it was kind of a puzzle that he put together better than anybody else in the field. And
By a lot.
By a lot. So in practice, I was trying a lot of different things and threw some really big baits during the tournament. You know, big fish in that event also gets a brand new Toyota Tundra.
Yeah.
So that
And what took that?
Seth Fighter took it with like a 910, 9.9.
Well, so what was it caught on? Like I didn't.
I'm
see
not sure
that. I
what
don't
fighter
know.
caught that fish on. I bet if Ronnie's listening, I know he was on here earlier. Ronnie Moore will chime in and tell us what fighter caught that truck on. Literally a truck.
Yeah,
Caught a truck.
he reeled in a truck.
So
Reeled
that's
in a
in
brand
the
new
back
truck.
of your mind too. When you have a bad practice and you don't have a lot of points to lose,
Especially an event like that,
Yeah.
you at least got something to look forward
you're thinking
to.
about, God, just one swing of the
Yeah.
rod and I could win a Toyota Tundra.
Especially in your position because you're already in the Classic. Like if you finish dead last, you're still going to make the Classic.
Right.
So
That's
if you
right.
have a bad practice, you're like, what the heck? I can go out here and get one bite and win a $50,000 truck.
and I knew I wasn't on anything to carry me the distance. My issue was everything I would do, I would get one bite but I could not duplicate anything. I could not get a pattern going. I had to really put a lot of rods on the deck in practice and bounce around to get a bite or two or three or
So
four.
he was cranking, Ronnie Moore says.
Okay, cranking. Ronnie Moore said an OG DT, Slim.
That's the new Art Defoe design bait, I believe, for Rapala.
And he won it with a 9.9, Ronnie. Thank you, Ronnie. I know you come through. You the man. And we got to get Ronnie on our show sometime, man. And we got to get Ronnie down here on the show. So the truck was won with a 9.9. Patrick won it primarily on a jerkbait. I would say the majority, if not all of his fish or key fish, were weighed in on a jerkbait. Several different types of jerkbait. I know he was throwing a mega bass. I think he threw a Rapala some. But a variety of jerkbaits. I mean, he had about 35 rods on his deck when I saw him, but he literally was only catching fish on 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah. But you still that's why people always ask,
decoys.
like, Brian, why do you always have so many rods on your deck?
To
even
confuse
though
everybody watching.
No, it's because you might run into a situation where you want to make 1 or 2 casts, and if it's not on the deck, you're not going to take the time to dig it out of the rod box and make that one cast. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've caught 90% of the fish on one bait, but the 1 or 2 you catch on something else, they count too. You got to be prepared for everything.
Yep. So overall, tough event, and it was a grind for everybody. Not very few guys in that event were catching a large number of fish. A lot of the guys that even made the top 40 cut that I talked to, that I know, like Canterbury, my roommate, he caught 6 the first day, I think 5 the second day, and 6 or 7 the third day. Had a good event after a tough practice, and it was kind of all over the map. I spent a lot of time during the tournament flipping trees with a big jig too, just trying to get some big bites. And that lake is one of those lakes that if you can go out there, put a jig in your hand, flip trees, whatever it is, if you get 7 or 8 or 9 bites, you're going to catch a couple big ones, typically on fork, regardless of the time of the year. But
that is true.
It's a phenomenal lake, unbelievable fishery. The 100-pound mark was broken in a tournament that nobody
would have expected
to.
Right.
Hence the 29-pound margin of victory. But all the guides, all the locals, Patrick tapped into fish that were
unfished for.
I mean, that's the best way to describe it. I mean, I guess.
In
thrift lingo, unfished for.
Yeah.
And they're probably fish that typically this time of year never get caught.
Yeah, I agree.
That's fixing to change.
That is fixing to change.
But yeah, so very, very eye-opening tournament for a lot of people, including myself. So it makes me think ahead to the Classic at Ray Roberts, because that lake is got a lot of timber in it, sets up a lot like Forks, got a lot of big fish, and it could be a pre-spawn event based on weather. And if it is, I could see something very similar playing out in my head. But the Classic should be entertaining because Ray Roberts kicks out 10-pounders. I don't think it has the number of big fish that Fort does, but it does have giant fish.
But it's a lake in Texas. Every lake in Texas, there's a 10-pounder somewhere.
Even in Travis, and that's probably like the lowest weight lake that we've ever fished.
Oh, yeah.
But even Travis kicks out 10-pounders.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny because Travis on average kicks out fish like Lake Norman kicks out fish.
Yeah.
And then you catch like 10-pounders.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think last time we fished Travis, I had, what did I have?
I don't know.
25 something the first day.
I watched
26.
a lot of those.
Yeah.
But didn't you have like an 8-pounder?
No, I had 5s and 6s.
Just 5s and 6s. Yeah. But it is funny because Travis has huge numbers of like 12 to 14-inch fish.
Yes.
And then
and guacamole bass.
Guacamole bass. You know what he's talking about, Jeff?
I'm listening.
So there's a particular type spot bass.
Guadalupe bass or something.
No.
Guacamole bass?
No.
Guacamole bass, exactly.
It's a Guadalupe.
I gotta turn my earpiece
That's what
down.
I said, wasn't it?
I thought you said guacamole.
I said Guadalupe next.
Guadalupe, yeah, it's a Guadalupe spotted bass. Yes, so they are very, very common in Lake Travis, and I don't know how many places or lakes in Texas that have the Guadalupe, but they're an interesting little critter. They don't get very big at all. Like a giant one's like 1.5 pounds.
Yeah.
All right, so Jeremy Conkrant wanted to know what big baits I was throwing. I dabble with some big glide baits, mainly a jig. Then most of the time I stay with a big profile jig and used a 5/8 a lot, and with a big chunk and just flipped a lot
Something
of trees.
to target big fish.
Yeah,
with.
something to target big fish with, and I got a few bites on it each day, but I just did. I never connected.
Something
lost-
I noticed that there seemed to be a fairly strong dock bite going on.
that was that. I wouldn't call it strong because
but no, you've seen a lot of guys doing that,
Right,
And
right.
that was surprising to me because there's only like I can fish every dock on fork in 6-7 hours.
well, you'd be surprised how many are up the river too in little.
That's what I'm
pockets and
saying. Yeah,
places.
but you can still fish them all in a day. You can fish every dock on the lake in one
Those
day.
docks, number one, they didn't replenish at all, and you really had to be. It was so random. Like you get bit on a dock, you fish 10, you get bit on a dock. You fish 20 more, you wouldn't get a bite.
Yeah.
Now this was practice. I don't know if it got better or worse during the tournament. I mixed in some docks. I caught one fish, one keeper off of docks in the tournament. But there was surprising amount of fish caught off
Yeah.
docks in my eyes, especially after Canterbury and I had actually practiced pretty hard on them.
Right.
To one of the main things we wanted to check when we were there. But yeah, so overall,
And that's a good pattern this time of year,
yeah, I mean docks,
especially for big ones because
absolutely.
when it starts cooling off, as bait fish moving in the creeks. I think we talked about this the other week. The big crappie get in the brush piles, and those true giant bass. That's what they feed on, I think.
Well, no, I think you're 100% right, and I don't know if you watched or anybody saw the weigh-in. So Fighter, who won the truck with the big bass of 9.9,
Yeah.
he said that he had a really tough practice. He said the place where he caught the 9.9, he caught a couple big crappie on in practice.
Yep.
And he said that
That's what them
he
big
pulled
ones
up
eat.
there the first day. He didn't catch a bass there in practice, but
Yeah.
there was quite a few crappies there. And Lake Fork is like, it is an unbelievable crappie
Yeah.
fishing. Like unreal.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, everywhere I went, everywhere all throughout the tournament, all throughout practice, everybody I saw was crushing them. And I mean like average fish, like pound and a quarter.
Yeah, big ones. Yeah.
But Fighter, back to the story, Fighter said on stage that he caught a couple crappie there in practice, and he pulled up there the first day of tournament. He caught a 9.9 and a 5-pounder.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only two fish he caught there during the whole tournament.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they were there feeding on those crappies.
Yep.
Actually, it's funny because I remember a Texas. What's the big team trail down there? The Texas Bass Team Trail. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
what it's called, Texas Bass Team Trail. I remember Todd Castledine and Russell Cecil, a couple Texas hammers, were fishing a tournament down there, and it might have actually been on Ray Roberts. And Todd saw a 9-pounder flopping around on top of the water, and he went over there, and they videoed this. That's
Yeah.
how I know about it. They went over there, and it's on
I
YouTube.
think I seen that.
And he
video.
picked
Yeah.
that fish up, and it was choking on like a dang 2-pound crappie.
Yeah, a big
And
one.
So those great big ones, I have no doubt in my mind, they, like Brian said, they feed on these
Yeah.
crappies a lot. All right, guys, tonight we have a trivia question at the end of the show sponsored by Pulse Fish Lures. I also have to announce that they have reactivated the discount code.
Ooh.
LTF20, we'll drop that in the feed here, and we'll put it back up on our Facebook page. We'll pin it at the top. But go to the Pulse Fish Lures website. Actually, I think it's pulsefishlures.com.
Yeah, pulsefishlures.com.
Okay, it's pulsefishlures.com. Go to the website. Use the code LTF20. I believe I'll talk to Todd and verify. I might keep that active until maybe Christmas time. So everybody.
But
can
it's
get it.
definitely good through.
He might can
there
verify
and
right
already.
in the
Yes.
comments.
Yes. Do what now?
He's watching. He might can verify for us in the comments.
Oh, cool.
Todd,
Well,
Todd, are you watching?
well, now that
Quit watching the show, Todd. You got to go win the All-American tomorrow.
he can't be practicing tonight.
He was on. I don't know if he's still on, but if he is,
He's got to get
can
ready.
comment.
You know, go rig your tackle. So, to all of our buddies that are fishing the All-American, good luck tomorrow.
Todd Goads down there. Brian
Todd,
News down there. Brian
Brian
Schmidt's down
Schmidt,
there.
Jamie Rampy. There's a lot of them.
Rampy's down there. Rampy'd be hard to handle,
Oh,
as
yeah.
always. On
Oh, yeah.
Hartwell. But that starts tomorrow. So good luck to all those guys. Todd's still on here. He said that's correct, Matt. Pulsefish.
Good luck, Todd.
The code LTF20. Jeff, you want to comment that in the feed so we can
Sure.
LTF20, just so it's in the feed for everybody to see. Y'all can write it down or whatever. But it's LTF20. Get your 20% discount on Pulse Fish Lures. This time of year, it's a phenomenal bait to add to your arsenal if you hadn't already.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Todd said tackle's done. Time to snap them up. That's right. So good luck to all our buddies in the All-American down there. All right. We are I saw a question. Drew Goolsby. That's interesting because that's kind of a debate that's starting to fire up a little bit, especially this year. He said, when is bass going to ban live scope and mega, if ever? And I think there's a lot of different opinions on that, and that's something we could probably dive into during the entire episode.
Yeah, we need to make that an entire episode.
And let's just hold that thought. To answer your question, I have no idea if ever. I mean,
what's your thought? Like, just quick, not to dive into it.
So I have mixed emotions about it.
Just say ban or no ban. Don't give an explanation.
No, I have mixed emotions because I'm not on the definitely ban it. I'm not on the definitely not to ban it bandwagon. I think there comes a time, it's kind of like when they banned the Alabama rig. Okay, it's kind of like Barry Bonds not being able to use an aluminum bat. It's kind of like football players not being able to take steroids. When you get to a professional athlete level, my opinion is in a professional sport, everything needs to be equalized to an extent where the equipment and the player is on a perfectly equal playing field. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, everybody can have access to that, but in my opinion, as things continue to progress, it's going to be making it less fishing and more computer technologically oriented. It's going to change the sport as we know it.
Yeah,
and it already is changing the sport.
It is. I agree.
So,
but how long is it going to take before you get the Alabama rig effect?
I don't know, and
that's what I'm saying.
I thought about that too.
I mean, it's going to change fish. Fish change with pressure.
Yes,
everybody
100%.
knows that.
So we're going to get to a point though, don't you think, to where no fish is safe, no matter where they are and when they're there. And there's safe zones for fish now.
Oh yeah,
there's safe
there's
zones
still safe
to where
zones.
they can never. There are still some. I agree, but it just keeps going. I don't know, man. Like I said, let's hold that for another show. We could talk about that for days. And
I mean, you can't ban innovation.
You can't ban innovation, but you can limit professional athletes to what they can and can't use. So that's why I'm mixed on it. You cannot limit technology. You cannot limit innovation. You cannot stop, because that screws the industry as a whole.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
100% agree.
I mean, if that's the case, you almost need two leagues. You need a primitive league.
Well, no,
and then an advanced
a primitive league, and then a computer league, or whatever you want to call it. So I mean, a lot of interesting opinions on that, and I mean, time will tell. I think as things continue to advance and things continue to change.
I think it's all about what you learn. Like, I mean, I seen a good comment here, Andrew Alexander Fritz. I mean, David Fritz still uses the old school flasher. He don't light it up like he used to, but he still hands out a few whoopings here and there.
Yeah. Well, and in the defense of kind of this couple of the statements I just made, when Fritz used to win, a lot of those schools he would find by fishing.
Oh,
with
yeah.
That flasher.
Yeah.
He would find them, and then when you tap into
and he was the
like
only
that,
one looking back then.
Yeah, and he's out there going down the dang channel with a crankbait.
Yeah.
I mean, and you stumble across something like that. That's like, remember that tournament?
Over.
Hackney won a tournament at Pickwick that he
found
by fishing.
Yeah.
Okay. And that, at the time, that was a wad of fish on a specific place that nobody could have found by just running by it or idling over it.
Right, unless they sent them schooling or something.
Now, you could find it.
Oh, yeah, now I can idle by them and see them on side in.
Right,
on my
right.
home.
So, it keeps evolving. And I see a comment on here with Joe Gentry. Y'all, hold your comments on that, because
we're going to do this. I think this is a good topic for next week.
Yeah.
Let's do this next week.
Yeah.
Because we can talk about this forever.
And Ronnie Moore's got, Ronnie Moore threw his comments in there too. Said, crazy that a Garmin live scope angler also finished third, yet he was fishing in the dirt and didn't utilize it. One angler blowing it out doesn't mean a ban is needed.
Exactly.
And I agree. One angler blowing it out with that doesn't mean a ban. But then you can go back to the St. Clair event, okay? When you've got, 39 of the top 40 guys were utilizing it.
That's called smallmouth or dumb.
Now, I'm not going to disagree with that either. But what I'm saying is
smallmouth or dumb.
There's a lot of different situations, and I think as things continue to evolve, it's going to change everybody's thought process and everybody's approach different. You're going to have to adapt with the conditions, adapt with the situation, and adapt with the times.
Yeah, and it's going to change fish. Like, it's going to
100%.
It's going 100% change fish. Once they get used to getting snatched, we'll have to come up with some new innovative way to catch them or locate them or something. Like, it's probably going to go back to where you got to turn all your sonars off and have no pings in the water to get a bite. Like that's where I see it going.
That's one of the concerns. And I was talking to a couple guys down there. And Ronnie Moore said, "I knew St. Clair would pop up." Ha ha ha. Well, I mean, I couldn't help myself. So, one of the conversations I had with a couple anglers down there at Fork about it, and it was very interesting because guys, there was a lot of guys at Fork that had the tool, and they didn't utilize it. And I don't know if it was, and it surprises me that more guys, and maybe they saw them, and they just didn't pick up the right bait at the right time and didn't have any confidence in it, you know.
Right.
But like you said, they're not dealing with a smallmouth either. They're dealing with a suspended largemouth, which is entirely different.
Entirely different animal.
So it was I don't know, man. We'll just have to wait and see. You know, it's not. And somebody said earlier they're never gonna limit electronics and improvement. Doug Line.
No.
I mean, absolutely they're not. And we're not talking about having it go away or limiting it or anything like that. We're just specifically talking about rules at the top level of fishing, and that's it. Like I have nothing. I would never ever.
I'm not
ever,
for banning anything.
Well, I would never say anything about limiting or hindering innovations in any industry whatsoever.
I mean, that takes the power away from certain anglers. I mean, because you got to look at professional fishing through a whole. I mean, you've got guys that are the best at flipping. Like when there's a flipping bite, they're going to dominate. I mean, you've got guys that they dominate on smallmouth lakes. The guys that dominate when you have to finesse fish. Guys that dominate when you have to fish offshore. So everybody has a little niche that they fit into and that they know a little bit better than the rest of the competition, and that's where they shine. And you don't want everybody kind of on the same level, because you want to. That's not how you keep pushing, learning the learning process if everybody's doing the same thing.
Well, one thing you see too with the electronics deal is a lot of the younger guys that are the ex-college fishermen like Patrick Walters himself, and they seem to be, which that's technology and that's the time. They were growing up with iPads and iPhones and things like that when you and I weren't growing up with iPads and iPhones, So they were already a little bit more technologically advanced coming out of school. So that stuff, they adapt to that train of thinking and the way that stuff works. And I'm kind of a middle of the road guy to where I dabble with that stuff a little bit, but I'm old school too, where I like to just go fishing and pattern fish and figure it out on the fly without using a ton of electronics. Now mapping and things like that's a must on certain lakes.
Oh yeah,
otherwise you'd kill yourself or destroy your boat sometimes. But so I don't know. There's a lot of argument there. There's a lot of things to talk about, to think about, to discuss. Only time will tell is all I can say. There's no definite answer to any of that right now. Ronnie, thanks for jumping in, man. He said
that was a lot of good information there.
Yes, sir. Drew Goolsby asked, did Clun have live scope? So if you watch Clun during the event,
oh, I like that. That's a good idea. Grayson Watley says, limit the maximum inches of electronics per boat. Like,
you mean like how many units you can have?
Like
and all
how
that?
many total inches of screen you can have.
That would be a limit to the number of units too.
Right.
That would be very interesting.
That's a cool concept. I like that.
Limit to 4 units max per boat. Those are interesting thoughts.
Yeah, I like that.
Let's continue this on another show,
yeah,
y'all.
I agree.
We could really get a lot of good info from y'all too.
Let's see. I can't pronounce that name. How is that? Callie?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, no, I do not have live scope. I run Humminbirds on all my units are all Humminbird Helix 12s, and I run the 360s. Love my 360s.
Ryan Sowers said, somebody said that'd be boring. So when you going to start a show, Let's Talk Deer? I guess if we ever do that, it would definitely have to be a separate show, because we have some people that really don't want to hear anything about deer hunting, and we have some people that do. Has Matt or Smoke had any luck in the woods this fall? Smoke shot an 8-pointer 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think so.
About 2 weeks ago. Jeff is
How did I get into this?
And he said, does Jeff hunt?
Oh.
So Jeff grew up doing a little hunting, dabbling in it, did some bird hunting in South Carolina. He hasn't hunted in quite a few years, if I'm not mistaken.
I used to deer hunt pretty much every day.
Well, I drug him over here to the bow shop, to our buddy Todd's over here at Norris Merchandise, and he bought a Hoyt, brand new Hoyt, got it all set up, like a $1,500 package. What, 3 years ago?
2 years ago.
No, 3 years ago?
I think it was 2 years ago. 2 or 3. It's when we moved here.
Okay,
Wasn't it?
2 years ago. All right, you're right.
Of course
2
I'm
years
right.
ago,
I'm always
and
right.
he has not drawn that bow back on a deer yet. Not because he
I've been
hasn't-
hunting a few times. I just hadn't.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know you went.
I actually
Where'd
did.
you go?
I can't tell you that.
Oh, okay. Because your access to hunting property is Thrift and myself. So when you said you went and Thrift and I don't know about it, I'm wondering
you were
whose
gone.
land are you,
You were
trespassing on?
You know where I was hunting. I just can't say it.
Oh, okay. It just hit me. Yeah, we can't talk about that right now. That's definitely for another show. So Jeff, we were just talking about it before the show. We're gonna get Jeff, and when we do, we're gonna post it on LTF. We're gonna get Jeff on a deer here in the next week or two with his bow. Okay, muzzleloader season just started here, but he wants to kill one with that bow, and I don't blame him. Ernie Wallace said Jeff's always on the hunt.
That's right, Ernie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen a
always
couple
like that
comments about David Dudley. Did you see his video? He posted. Anyway, I know
No.
earlier this
Oh, you're
week.
talking about his COVID deal?
Yeah,
Yes,
and,
I did know
and,
about that.
You know, kind of the blessing in disguise was they were able to find out he was a type 2 diabetic, I believe. So he can get that under control. But yeah, our prayers and thoughts and prayers definitely with David. I actually seen another post he made. He was actually out deer hunting one day this week, not that long ago. So hopefully he's kind of on the amends and starting to feel a little better, getting out to being his normal David Dudley self, because the way I know David, if he's got to lay up in the house, that ain't going to be very good for him. He loves to be outdoors. He's probably one of the biggest outdoorsmen that I know. So just him getting out there in the woods, that's going to probably make him feel a lot better right there.
Yeah, he and he was Mike Harris chimed in there and let everybody know that when he went to the hospital, he didn't even know, and I think that's why COVID hit him so hard. But he was diagnosed as a diabetic also.
Yeah.
Which that underlying condition, you know.
Say.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said that. Well, I'm doing like you do to me. I'm not actually listening when you're talking. So, all right,
Proceed,
apologies.
sir.
But okay, in reference to that, I had talked. Scott Martin had called me when I was forked and told me about Dudley.
Yeah.
And I talked to Scott again on the way home, and he gave me an update that he was doing better.
Yeah.
So also, I want to give a big shout out, and people probably know that follow Bassmaster, that Trip Weldon was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He's been out for the last couple tournaments with some back issues and different things, and he went in for I guess a little bit more in-depth look, and they did diagnose him with a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. He's got a nice little letter he put out on Bassmaster.com. But prayers and thoughts with Trip, who's been with Bass for longer than I can remember.
Yeah,
And
long time.
great tournament director, great guy, great person, great family. So keep him in your thoughts and prayers too, along with Dudley and everybody else in this country that's battling this nasty virus. But yeah, Dudley did have childhood asthma, and Drew just mentioned that too. That he's still got. I don't know if he's still got some asthma, but our thoughts are going out to those guys and everybody else that's battling this mess that we're all going through. So, but let's see. What about Andy Montgomery about drowning? Crazy stuff. I don't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
What
I
happened?
just heard about it today. I guess he's put it out there. I don't know. I don't know if he's posted anything or put anything public about it, so I don't want to talk about it.
Oh well, I don't know any details, and Clarence Belton
I know he's okay.
had mentioned it, so
Just know Andy is okay.
he's fine.
He's fine.
Okay. That's the main.
Because
thing.
I don't know if he's like it. I've heard it secondhand information. What happened?
So you hadn't talked to Andy.
I hadn't
yourself.
talked to Andy personally, and I don't know if he's put anything out there publicly about it. So I don't want to be the one to talk about it. I'd rather Andy be the one.
Well,
to talk
it must
about
be public because I see a couple people commenting
it.
about it.
Okay, it may be, but I hadn't seen it, so I ain't gonna talk about it.
Drew said Jeff.
Yeah,
just
Ryan Sauer said he posted it on Facebook. All right.
Jeff just doesn't seem like a stone cold killer to me.
You know, sometimes it just depends on the day.
Depends on the day, time of day,
Depends on the day.
or okay, all right.
All right,
day,
so
not
evidently Andy has posted it. We're getting a lot of comments about that, but I don't know the whole story. Like I said, I heard it secondhand information through another buddy of ours that had spoke to him. So I'm gonna say the best way to find out about it is go to Andy Montgomery's Facebook
Yeah, go to his
page
Facebook page.
and read it.
All right, so I know we kind of did a Lake Fork rundown, talked about some different things, electronics, things like that. We're going to continue that conversation on another show because we could talk about that for days.
Yeah, we could.
We have a trivia question night sponsored by Pulse Fish Lures. a $75 package from Pulse Fish Lures, including a hat,
that's a nice
lures,
little package.
Yeah, all kinds of good things. So definitely something y'all gonna want to hang around for until the end of the show. I do want to show a couple funny things. So, and this is deer hunting related, but it's something y'all will enjoy. Y'all will find funny. Anybody that knows Thrift and knows how he likes to hunt will enjoy this. And I'm just gonna come up to the camera and I'm gonna show him, and Thrift can tell him about it.
What is there to tell about?
It's Thrift's. It's his new deer stand. Okay.
What's wrong with it?
Hang on.
Thrift has bought. No, excuse me. He didn't buy. Thrift actually built him. Oh, can you actually put it up in the feed or something, or play it through the?
Hang on one sec. Let me find my.
You need the video.
Hold tight.
Okay.
Let me.
I gotta send you something else too.
They're making a big deal out of nothing.
No, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome, but I think everybody should see your.
It is awesome. Like, I love it.
Your new
So,
treehouse.
So,
Go ahead. Tell them about it.
this weekend, I wanted to build a big box stand on the land I hunt, and I wanted something that, like, obviously I could hunt out of, because I like to hunt, but I don't like to walk far, and I don't want to sit there long, and I want to be comfortable.
Anything else?
That's the three things I got to. That's what I like. And then I wanted something for the kids. You know, my kids could sit and they could wiggle around. They could do jumping jacks if they want to. It ain't gonna scare deer off. If I invite any buddies over, like if Matt wants to bring his daughters over to hunt, they got a place they can come hunt. All of them can fit in the same stand. So build a big box stand. It's like a 7x5. I mean, it's pretty roomy. So.
And I asked Thrift, I said, God, that thing looks big. And I said, what do you guys? I said, I can't wait to see what kind of chair you put in it. He said, I'm going to put a futon in it, and I'm going to get me a periscope where I actually don't have to stand up to see out the window. Said he was going to lay down and just use his periscope to look out the window while he's laying on his futon.
That would
Something
be
like that,
ideal.
yeah.
I'm trying to get my phone to work as a camera.
So if they could get it up, we'll show you. But
No, I
it's
got it
just a
right
box
here.
stand. It's just a regular old box stand.
It's pretty impressive. All right.
Lumber is expensive, by the way, for anybody that doesn't know
You
that.
can see it, Jeff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's good. Back up a little bit. Get back up a little bit. There you go. That's good.
There's a video of it.
It's
I
on-
call that a stand or a house.
That is that's a small house.
No way. It's just a normal stand.
That's
Just a normal
ridiculous.
stand.
All right. So
You can't even hardly see it.
that's you can't see it?
Nah, you can see it pretty good.
Oh yeah, you can see that good.
Like everybody that hunts in Texas has got something like that, don't they?
Because I was going to talk about that next. So, can you put those up?
Not that easily. Not in the middle of a show.
Okay,
All right, let's go back to talking about fishing.
we'll save that for another show. Where are we at?
We're
Brian?
talking
Let's
about
see.
fishing.
I know you want to jump back into fishing. So where are we at? Oh, that's right, Ryan Sowers. I mean, that thing would hold a futon, a mini fridge, fill it up with sun drop. You could probably put a little satellite TV in there. Oh yeah, and
I don't sit long enough to need all that.
That's true too. So why do you build a stand that big when you literally only
For
hunt
the
for
kids.
45 minutes to an hour?
For the kids.
Okay,
That's what it's all for the kids.
all right. Will Wiley climb up in that thing?
Yes.
I know Cooper would.
Oh yeah, Cooper he tried to jump out of it. You look.
Come standard with a sun drop machine. All right, so we did the Lake Fork rundown. We talked electronics. We talked a little bit of deer hunting. We wished everybody good luck at the All-American. And next week, let's see, is it next week? Next week. What is next week? That's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. No, that'd be the next Tuesday.
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll definitely have a show next week. We might get a little something special cooked up for y'all between now and then. We're up for suggestions too in the fall. You know, and during our downtime is when we like to help y'all. We like to educate. We did a really cool show week before last on school and fish secrets, school and fish
Yes.
tips. If you missed that show, is that show up on YouTube, Jeff?
Yes, it is.
Should be.
All right, so that show is up on our YouTube channel, and we never really talk about it, but guys, don't forget, this is we do have all our shows archived on our YouTube channel. Just go to the Let's Talk.
Most of the latest. Some of the earlier ones where the recordings were
That's
awful.
true. That's true. Most all the latest in the past, year or so?
2 years, probably.
2 years.
It's probably a good 60 shows.
Okay, there's probably 60-plus shows, but all our recent shows are uploaded to our YouTube channel. So go on to YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you missed a show, you can jump on there and
hit
catch
us with
up a
some
little bit.
topics. What would be a good topic for next week?
Man, don't ask me because all I'm going to be talking about.
Y'all
is
hit us
thinking
with
about
some
deer
topics tonight. You know, if you've got something on your mind you think we can help you with as far as fishing goes, hit us with some subject content, and we'll come up with something.
Just throw us some topics, and we're going to pick
Yeah.
one of them for next week.
Hey, Ryan Sauer said you should wrap your deer blind.
I thought about doing that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I really
Like,
did.
In camo or like sponsors?
Yeah,
Ricky Bobby.
put a
deer
big
stand.
big Sportsman's Warehouse
Yeah.
logo on the side of it.
I don't know. I kind of like the fact that it's somewhat like an olive drab green and not as visible. Well, of course,
That
makes-
is palm leaf.
So I used to have ground
What?
blinds.
Palm leaf.
that's the paint color.
Yes, palm leaf and Van Dyke brown.
So my
Okay.
farm in South Carolina had ground blinds, and I would go where I was going to put it and take a picture of the woods, ground like eye level, and then I'd wrap the ground blind and exactly what was behind it.
Well, you do just you take
That's
a picture
camo.
and you'd print the picture
That's
on the
camo.
material.
That's absolute camo.
Oh yeah, we
that's-
got a show for next week.
That's a pretty good deal.
The electronics is next week, so we'll have to get us something for the next one.
Dive into the electronics deal.
Yeah.
All right. So I might even holler at Mr. Ronnie Moore and try to get him on a video chat. Just been working on some new software stuff lately that we might can get some video guests in here, and it'd be really, really, really like high quality sound and video. So we'll keep y'all posted on that deal. Let's see. I saw this comment earlier. Said what it would do to the fans and all that stuff. Talking about the Classic and the first day of the BPT overlapping. I know that's
I didn't even know that was the case.
well, y'all have a regular season event same week or really close to the Classic. And, you know, I've always said this from a fan perspective, guys, especially if you're not like, I mean, if you want to go to the show or something, you know, you need to go to the Classic as far as being able to, you know, industry deals and all that stuff. But if you're at home and you're watching fishing, you get to watch everything at one
Yeah.
time. So you get to be a fan of fishing and you get to watch
Yeah.
a little
the good
bit of
thing
everything.
about fishing, it ain't politics. You can like both of them.
Yeah.
You pull for both sides.
You don't have to vote. You don't have to, you know. So
Yeah.
you can do it all.
Exactly.
But that
I honestly didn't know the schedule was like that. Like I
well,
hadn't-
when you're talking, let's see, 9 events for us plus the Classic, that's 10. Okay, y'all are somewhere in the same number. with
Yeah, I
the
think
cups
we've
and
got
everything.
the seven events, the Red Crest,
That's
the heavy
8.
hitters,
9.
and then
So-
4 or 5 of the cups.
Yeah, so you're talking over 20 tournaments a year. You're going to have some overlap.
Yeah, there's
here and there.
definitely going to be some overlap.
You know, in a perfect world, it'd be like 1 week this, 1 week that, 1 week this, but that can't logistically cannot happen regardless. So, yeah, Ernie Wallace, thank you. He said, I'll be watching both online. So Ernie won't be able to attend either one. He's going to watch them both. And that's the great thing about technology.
You can do that.
You can do that.
Split screen them and have at it.
Yeah, that's right. So Derek Westfall corrected that. He said the first day of the MLF event starts on the last day of the Classic, so all the MLF anglers can attend the expo for their sponsors.
Can or can't?
Well, I think that means they
can't.
can
If-
or it depends on
dep-
where it is and all that stuff. and
it
what group
depends
you're
on
into and
because-
practice.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so I guess Brian and I are yet to find out more
Yeah,
information about our schedule.
I don't know. I don't know.
All right, we're getting towards the end of the show. I know we're getting ready to ask our trivia question here shortly. We got a good trivia question. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but you cannot find this answer online. Well, you might could find it, but you'd have to
What
work.
is the?
You'd have to work really hard.
The one you were
Yeah, we did. That was,
Okay. Yeah. All right.
and that's the answer, right? Can you read that?
Yes, I can. That's actually it could be a fish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they're talking about another, the other tour, the MPFL, which is starting up next year. We've had some questions on the show about that. There's still a lot of questions, even in my head about that tour. What I do know is I think it was I want to say it was originally going to be 150. I think it might be 125 anglers. They're going to have events, 6 if I'm not mistaken, 2 in the spring, 2 in the summer, 2 in the fall, I believe. I think the field's pretty much set. I know a couple of their MCs. They're going to have Mr. Luke Duncan himself over there. Luke's
And I seen that in
Fat Cat Newton.
Yeah, I seen that.
So that will be entertaining to say the least. But as far as the anglers fishing it, I have not done my research to know who's going to be going over there. I know that their goal was not to interfere with other professional tours and to give the working class guy who still has a full-time job and is not necessarily pursuing a full-time career in professional bass fishing a platform that doesn't demand as much time and it's spread out a little bit more for those guys to go compete for at a high level for more money. And that's kind of what that's kind of what they're doing. It looks like so. And I wish them the best. I'm interested and excited to watch it, just like I am every other fishing tournament circuit. But so that'll be Reed Carl Finley. I did see that, so there was some confusion about that. It said John Cox is fishing that one too.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, so there's a John Cox that is signed up, and the reason I saw this because I saw it blow up on Facebook one day. There's a John Cox.
Get off me.
The door's still open, so
Yeah, I just had one on me too.
That's your fault.
The John Cox that's fishing the NP. Yeah, it's always my fault.
Wasn't that Matt's fault?
That was Matt's
That's
fault.
fishing the NPFL is not the John Cox that everybody's familiar
Oh,
with.
you can't have 2 John Cox.
I'm just telling you, y'all can double check me on this. I know the Facebook detectives are out there. I'm sure some of you are watching. Check it out and find out if I'm accurate on that. The John Cox that's fishing the NPFL or signed up to fish and committed to fish the NPFL is not the John Cox that fishes FLW, Bass Elite Series, and all that stuff.
That's going to get confusing.
Completely different John Cox. Same name, different person.
There you
All right.
go. Doppelganger, maybe. Possibly.
All right. So, and that's what it is, Clarence. It is an opportunity for, I'm not going to call it the common man. I'm going to call it men that, are full-time working men that have another job or a business on the side that cannot absolutely just drop everything and go traveling and compete on the Elite Series for 12 weeks out of the year or the MLF Tour for 12 weeks out of the year, whatever it may be. See, Todd Goad said it. Thank you, Todd. Todd's still on. Todd, you need to get to bed. You need to get to bed. Get ready to win the All-American. He said that John Cox lives in Georgia, so definitely a different John Cox. Thanks for clearing that up. So that's there you go. There you go. No more confusion. There are 2 John Coxes that are going to be fishing next year, and why don't John Cox fish though? Tony Lawson is asked that because John Cox is the guy. If there was one guy out there that would probably fish,
he would fish
tours
everything
if he could fit it in.
He would fish every single bass tournament that he could go get in.
Always, forever and ever and ever. I'm in. All right, quick trivia question time. We are at
what's tomorrow?
7:50.
Okay.
Tomorrow is Veterans Day.
Thank you, Thrift.
Thank you, Mr. Gordy. Gordy's keeping us looking out.
Veterans Day, and guys, you know what that means. We pay our respects.
Think of it.
Thank.
I know you know. I know everybody watching this show knows at least one veteran.
I'm sure a lot of you watching this show
are veterans. Exactly. Go eat breakfast with one of them. Hang out. Buy them breakfast.
And don't
listen to some stories. Tell them thank you.
Don't and I try to take the time out to do this to every time I meet one, and I thank them for their service. That is not Veterans Day is the day to recognize it, but every day is the day that you should pay your respects to those guys and gals that served and a lot of them that paid the ultimate sacrifice. But that's something that we need to observe every single day of the year, not just on Veterans Day. But guys, each and every one of you that's watching, each and every one of you out there, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for everything that you've done.
Exactly.
All right. Can we jump into our trivia question, or is it too early?
Do whatever you want.
Okay. All right.
Is that what you like to do?
Oh, that's a good topic, Mike Bartlett. He said good topic. You think the fishing pie is getting sliced up too much with 3 leagues now in college and high school fishing sponsor? Only have the X amount of money to spend. So here's another thing.
That is a good topic.
that's because we're at the end of this show. Let's save that for another show too. That's a great idea,
That
Mike.
is a
We're
great
gonna
idea.
actually. I'm gonna write that down here after the show and make sure we don't forget that, because it's funny, we walk in the studio some weeks and we're like, I wish we had a topic tonight. And
Yes.
just start brainstorming.
That
I'm gonna
does
start
happens a lot.
writing down some potential topics. That's a great topic. The electronics deal is a great topic. Next week we'll mix in a couple of these things and try to address some of these questions and topics that have been asked in the feed tonight. Guys, we are at the end of the show. Again, good luck to everybody tomorrow. Y'all know we mentioned them earlier. I'm talking about the All-American, but also we mentioned earlier Trip Weldon, David Dudley, everybody else out there fighting COVID and
Yeah.
other illnesses. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And we will be here for, the remainder of the year. So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna miss 1 week
Yeah.
around the first of December, something around the 1st of December. But yeah, we'll have some good shows between now and the start of the 2021 fishing season.
Ryan Sowers, go to YouTube and watch our last show when we talked about school and fish secrets in the fall, and you will see a Mr. Wilson feeding. He said he's been waiting 3 months for one, but we did one on the last show.
We did do one last show.
So jump on YouTube, Ryan, and catch up on that, because YouTube and Facebook are the only places you can see the actual video. Everywhere else, podcast platform stuff, you're just hearing us. But so if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, that's a great reason too.
It
You
is.
get to see Mr. Wilson eat
a lot of minnows.
It's not Jimmy
Very
Houston
quick.
1983, Derek. So
It's close. That's
we
close.
better let's jump on the trivia question. This is for a package that's sponsored by Pulse Fish Lures. Also, guys, don't forget the presenting sponsor of Let's Talk Fish is Angler's Choice Marine, and they're actually they're rocking and rolling right now, man. I talked to Trent earlier today up in the Martinsville location, Bobby Williams up at the Spindale location. They're rocking and rolling. But if you're in the market for a new boat, be sure to check out one of their 3 locations, Lexington, North Carolina, Martinsville, Virginia, or Spindale, North Carolina.
And speaking of tournament trails, if you're in the area, Virginia, North Carolina, anywhere, feel like driving, they have an awesome tournament trail.
They do.
have a great turnout.
And they're going to be back rocking and rolling for 2021.
Yeah, they're going to be back wide open next year. So good things ahead coming down the pipe from Angler's Choice Marine.
All right, trivia question time, guys. Again, this is for a $75 package from Compliments of Pulse Fish Lures. And that includes a Pulse Fish Lures hat, all kinds of little goodies, some of the Pulse jigs and some of their little baits and things that you definitely need in your arsenal if you don't already have them. The trivia question, this relates to the Lake Fork Bass Elite Series event, the Toyota Texas Fest that just took place. An over at Lake Fork. So Lake Fork is a slot lake. Okay.
Well, they have to be 20.
They have
24.
to be over 24 or under 16.
Yep.
Okay. The slot's 16 to 24 inches. You are allowed to bring in 1 over each day of the event if you wanted to bring it in and have it weighed, and they escorted you up there in a Toyota Tundra truck, and you got to go on stage and weigh your big fish and show it to the crowd. Because everybody likes to see a fish over 24 inches, which is rare.
Would they let you bring in one under 16?
I didn't ask, but, but I mean, that would have been my only opportunity to walk across stage and fish
you
that time.
crazy. You crazy.
I didn't catch any
You
overs.
might not have caught any overs, but the couple you caught are good ones.
Well, I never saw an over. Like, I never even put. Well, I did. Well, never mind. It doesn't even matter. I sucked. So that's all there is to it. All right. So the question is on the overs, on the number of overs. It does have to be over 24 inches. How many overs were caught during the Toyota Texas Bass Fest? How many overs were caught over 20? That's over 24 inches.
How many bass? Like how many were caught? Did everybody that catch one bring it in?
Well, there was one guy that did not.
And is that included?
I said how many were caught. I didn't say how many were weighed in.
Trick questions. I'm just trying to keep you from
So-
trying to keep Matt on the up and up. Don't want no trick questions.
So the
on
great
Let's
thing
Talk
about
Fish
We
this-
got
Live.
a winner.
You have a winner?
Yep.
We got a
Where?
winner.
Is that the answer?
That's the answer.
Yeah. Matthew Blake.
Matthew Blake
That's
is
not
the
even on
winner.
my feed.
I got it right here on mine.
All right.
Right there.
Well,
Is
y'all
that the
both
first
have
one
it.
you
For some
saw,
reason
too?
didn't even jump into my feed. Matthew Blake, you are the champion. The correct answer is 8. The biggest
8
one
over.
was a 9.9. Most of those fish over 24 are in the 8 to 10 pound range. Typically, you can have some 7s that are over 24. You can even have a big 6 that's over. Or,
Yeah.
a long 6 that's over 24.
Yeah, if you got an old skinny brim eater that's up there shallow all summer, that could happen.
And one thing I learned with the Texas Parks and Wildlife and the breeding program they have going on down there, a lot of those overs that are true, what am I trying to say? Actual descendants of those
Original Florida
breeders,
strains. Yeah.
they are built different. So if you have a 612 that's a 25-inch fish and you catch him this time of year, he's probably not one of those.
Long, skinny ones.
No, he's probably not one of those actual F1s, those true F1s from the breeding facility, because they are actually built. They're more square.
I thought F1s couldn't spawn. Do they spawn?
Well, maybe it's not an F1. I might be wrong.
I may be wrong
But they
on
breed
that.
those fish
I
with.
think that maybe they do spawn.
They take that whole
I don't know.
shell lunker program when they breed those fish and they take them back and they release them in the lake.
Yeah.
Those actual descendants or the babies of those of that breeding
It
program.
probably only. I bet that F1 genetics only lasts for like 2 or 3 generations, possibly.
Probably so.
And then it's probably so watered down that it's pretty much useless.
Yep. So 8 was the correct answer. Andy Baker said, I figured a lot more for fork. You have to remember, Andy, when we were there and the time of the year. We were there last year in May, and there was a lot more overs caught than 8.
Yeah.
Way more. It all depends on time of the year, but if you think about 8 over 24 inches in an early November tournament in the South, there's
That's
not
pretty
many lakes
stout.
in the
No.
entire country that can
No.
do that.
No, that's
Hardly
that's
anywhere.
stout for the fall.
Yeah, for that time of year. So, who was the winner? Y'all called him out?
Matthew Blake.
Matthew
Yeah.
Blake. Send us a message with your shipping information. We'll get it over to Pulse Fish Lures, and they'll get out your gift package. So, Matthew, congratulations. Next week, we don't know if we're going to do electronics. We might even do
We might
the
jump
3
in.
tour deal or something
Yeah,
like that.
we'll do something cool.
But we have several interesting topics, and appreciate all y'all for throwing those in the comments
Yeah.
tonight. To attack next week, we won't be short for hot topics, and I'm sure something else will come up between now and then. We might dabble in some deer hunting a little bit if y'all let me, but
Especially if when are we trying to get together this deer hunt up on the
as
7th?
soon as I can, I'm going.
I mean, are we going?
This weekend?
Oh, you
Is
mean
that this weekend?
you mean actually?
The one we talked about
Yeah.
before the show?
Yeah. Is
The-
that
here's the-
going
Here's
down
the
this
issue with
weekend?
that, and any deer hunter knows this, especially bow hunter. I have. Well, we'll talk about this after the show. We just don't need to continue letting these people hear our conversations about deer
The
hunting.
wind don't matter. I know what you're going to say.
All right,
Oh,
okay,
you
all
can't
right,
hunt this
all right.
stand during the
I'm gonna put.
I'll
I'm gonna
sit
put
in the
3.
stand with the bad wind.
All right, perfect. That's all I need to hear.
All right. That
all right.
deer like house cats. They're stupid and they're curious.
No comment. I'm just going to stop there.
It's true.
We have just run up on an hour again, guys and gals. Thanks for jumping in. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, be sure to get on there. Ryan Sowers, you can go back and watch the feeding of Mr. Wilson on the last episode. Always fun to watch him eat. Always fun. Never gets old. Never gets old. Gets expensive, but never gets old.
He was trying to eat rubber bands on our Instagram.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Jeff was actually shooting rubber bands at the tank earlier, and he was sitting
trying to
there
eat 'em.
trying to catch them in his mouth. So that was over on our Instagram page. If you want to see a little clip of that, it's still probably on our story or something.
It should
isn't
be, I guess. I don't know.
it? I don't know how that works either. You go Instagram Live, does it stay up for a while?
Maybe. I don't know if I'd selected that.
Oh, okay.
Because we're getting. I was trying to start the show with no iPad.
Yeah, with no camera. That's right.
And we could also throw in a little recap of the All-American next week, too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. We might.
Hopefully one of our boys wins it.
If Todd
Brian knew.
or Brian
Or Rampy. We can probably get Rampy on.
possibly get Rampy up here.
We'll get some stuff.
Could we get Schmidt here? You think he'd come?
Possibly.
It depends.
I
on
think
how,
we can get Schmitty.
depends on how far. If one of our buddies wins that AA,
We're
we'll
going to try our best to get
try our
him.
best to get them on the show next week as a special guest, because that's a pretty awesome tournament. Can be life changing for a lot of guys. There's a lot of pro anglers now, very successful professional anglers that have an All American win to their credit. So
Yeah. And that's I mean, you got to think what it takes to get, like, that's, the All-American is the championship for the BFL. They're, like, you have to beat more anglers to get there than any other trail of any kind. Like, wouldn't you say?
oh yeah. I mean, the pathway to get to the All American is
Yeah.
one of the most. They always said it was one of the most complicated and challenging pathways to
Yeah.
get to a championship type tournament there is. Especially for the weekend guy, because if you start across all the BFL divisions, and then you go to the regionals, and then it's cut down to 6 guys at the regionals, you know.
Yeah.
So, that's definitely a feat in itself. And I only got to fish one back in 07 was
You
the only
fished
one.
All American?
Yeah.
I've never fished
At the
All
Ohio
American.
River. You never heard me talk about that?
Ooh. I'd have bowed out. I'd have given my spot to somebody else.
Hey, man, I was in 7th the first day with 5 pounds.
That's pretty strong. I would have figured you'd been higher than
I
that.
can't, it's funny.
I mean,
'cause
honestly.
the guy who won it was running 60 miles,
Yeah.
caught 5 fish a day, 15
Blew it
bass.
away.
Oh, no, he didn't blow it away. I mean, he had 15 something, 16 something,
16 pounds.
15 bass that weighed like 16 pounds.
It's pretty solid for
And he
that.
won. No, that's pretty strong. Pretty strong. So, all right, cool, Ryan. Glad to hear you got your jersey and your hat from Angler's Choice. A lot of times we give away a jersey and a hat from compliments of Angler's Choice on a trivia question, but tonight it's the Pulse Fish package. We bounce around in different packages every week, but we'll have something special for y'all lined up for next week. Hopefully, an All-American champion sitting here in the studio with us.
That would be cool.
And in the meantime, what, Brian?
If we can't go fishing, what are we going to do, Jeff?
We're going to sit here and talk fish.
There you go.
See y'all.
Thank you for listening to Let's Talk Fish. Visit our private Facebook group to continue the conversation, post your questions, and talk with other fellow anglers at facebook.com/groups/Let's Talk Fish. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk Fish Official and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more exclusive content. Join us again next episode for more actionable tips, tactics, and techniques directly from the pros. And remember, when we can't go fishing, we're going to sit right here and talk fish.